I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is a news break. And today we're talking about Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki, who is the former press secretary to the leaving administration that is in office right now, which would be Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Kamala, whichever way you want to pronounce it today. They had her at first before she stepped down and Shea Pierre took her space. But if you guys have been watching this broadcast for a while, you know that I also referred to this woman as the Red Witch. Reason I did is because of her blatant open dishonesty with a smiling face. And then the red hair, which just also reminds me of the Red Witch from Game of Thrones. So that is how she got that moniker here. With that being said, if you could also please like and share this broadcast. So what you just heard real quick, she's already talking about X. You have seen other Democrats and mainly Democrats talking about especially X. They're really concerned about X. Reason why they're so concerned about Elon Musk's platform is because up until the point to when he bought it, they always could control the censorship of these platforms like Facebook and Instagram. That's why Facebook, no one's looking to it anymore for information's sake. Facebook is literally only a place to connect with people you know. You're not moving anything off of Facebook anymore. And the reason being is because, well, when you look to stifle voices, you stop channels, you stop people's revenue streams, at the same time promoted other agendas, while Black content creators just took L's, took losses because they were targeted by these so-called fact checkers, who we now find out ain't nothing but paid Democratic agents. Also, another thing that we just recently discovered, and this is the thing when you're hearing people on mainstream media complaining and talking about censorship of social media, I want you to keep in mind social media is literally the only place that told you the truth. These people told you that Joe Biden was winning. These people told you that Kamala Harris was winning. Joe Biden was for it. They knew, they had the numbers forecasted that he would lose to Donald Trump, with Donald Trump taking in 400 electoral college votes. 400. And then add to that, these are the same people who told you the disinformation that Joe Biden was all right in his cognitive faculties. Then he has an interview or a debate which displayed to the rest of the world that no, he was in decline. And we had been showing that already over here in these spaces in the new Black media. We had already been talking about these issues. We knew they were a problem. I mean, clearly they would have to be a problem, right? I mean, just think about that. Just for a second. And then they told you that this was your best option, or the world would come to an end. She's a horrible candidate, so really the only thing to get her over the top is to tell you that you somehow have failed her and failed the party. Another thing you're hearing these days, which is very interesting, people are saying they're trying to tell the American voting public that they voted against their own conscience. That to me is one of the most narcissistic statements that Sunny Holston often makes, but other people of her ilk keep continuously trying to force down the masses' ears. And it's just not true. people voted their conscience, correct, and you got the outcome that they wanted. What these people are having a hard time understanding and accepting is that they cannot dictate someone else's conscience or what they feel will benefit them. Well, all right then, I guess y'all gonna see. And so you lose, and now you're sore losers. If you're sore losers, that doesn't make you graceful winners. That doesn't make you tentative winners. That doesn't make you member or winners that even care about the people to whom you're supposed to be serving. Why? Because what we can now see, it was all just about winning, not even about how you're going to govern. It literally was only about winning. And that is not what the presidency of America is about. It's not just about winning. And I'm going to spend and blow $1 billion in 90 days. In every interview that I have, I bought and paid for a softball situation. I'm going to pay for a safe space and then watch all of these legacy media do the most unethical thing and then not tell the American public that everything they're saying, they've been paid to say. We're going to throw this softball. You need to have told us that this was a paid promotion. This was paid for by the Kamala Harris team. Then we can listen to it. But right now, y'all need to look at all of these people as problems. And realistically, every celebrity and everybody tied to these entities who got a check should never be trusted again. They don't have the people's mind or hearts at all. Let's remember, Roland Martin took some money too. He got about $350,000 allegedly. He has a voice of the people? No, he's always screaming out here for money. And he got his little checks. Now the rest of the thing dies. Now he's trying to work the DNC for more of a job. Here's the thing. The DNC already knows that Roland Martin ain't carrying no weight in the black community. The only people who didn't seem to understand are the people who were working in the Kamala Harris election team, which I'm already hearing. There's an article now talking about how fast they got canceled and fired. The matter of fact, the title of the story is saying how they got callously fired, how the firing of all of the staff day after the election was extremely callous. And it goes to show what people have already known about Kamala Harris. She is not pleasant to be around. People have worked for her and quit. Her whole communication staff quit. I think that's one thing that people keep forgetting. Everybody that worked with Kamala Harris from this administration, all of these especially the new youngsters, they're all new. She doesn't have the people that she came in with. She ran those folks off. And then it was so bad that she didn't have anybody around her that she had to go ahead and get Obama's people. And that whole squad, the 2008, bringing 2008 to 2024 out of touch squad. Ooh, that was going to really get the job done. So here these people are talking about all this misinformation and disinformation. No, people, we were able to live in America over the last 20 years. That is simply just the bar that you have to meet. It's a new millennium. My child just turned 25. You are 24 years into this millennium. And technology is a beast right now. So to say that you're going to control what people hear, and notice it's all about two common mediums. They're not even really complaining as much about TikTok. If you guys pay attention, the two major issues that is ending the world for the Democrats is X and YouTube. Who do you think they're looking to bother? Well, let's take a look at what the red. I mean, what Psaki had to say. Let's check this out.
One of the things that's changed even since I got involved in politics is just the rise of the percentage of people who get their information off of platforms that have no fact-checking mechanism and no accountability for having disinformation spread, right?
Right.
And as you know well, and I mean, when I got started in Democratic politics, you know, most of it was like local TV ads. That was what it was about. Obviously, national TV, local print. Those local TV is held to a higher standard of accountability than social media platforms in terms of having accurate information on their platforms. That is crazy. And so it is, how does it change? How are people held to account? Laws have to change.
I want to ask you about one thing that's gotten some attention this week from the book, which was a story you told about President Biden looking at his watch after caskets had come back from Afghanistan. The story was not told completely accurately, which you've acknowledged. I know some of the folks, including some of the families of those soldiers who were upset by that.
So see, when she gets it wrong, it's okay. But what she's saying is that there's misinformation. Notice how they never can point out what that misinformation is. They keep talking about that's how this is. You have an issue with misinformation, and you're really specifically honing in on X. Here's the thing about the American public and the human brain, just in general. It tends to disseminate information based on itself. So when it's taking in what it's taking in, it can now weigh it in the balance. Unlike the media that she just told you you could trust, which is now, as you can see, paid off. The reason why these ratings at MSNBC, CNN, and ABC, and all these ratings have dipped is because of trust and integrity of journalism. And there has been none this go around because everybody took a partisan stance and a biased stance against Donald Trump. So the people who understand this is supposed to be, well, what do we call our elections? Fair. We call our elections fair. NBC has a presidential candidate on to participate in not just one like monologue, but multiple skits on the most historically known sketch show in America, Saturday Night Live. You add that to all the other people that she paid for endorsements and paid for these platforms to give soft interviews. Do you realize the entire campaign of Kamala Harris, everything that every time you saw her, it was a production. None of it was real. You're not going to get anybody to vote for blatant fake. And they're upset. Oh, that's sexism. It's racism. It's white women left us, and white men. You got to bring this to bear. Come on, man. And the black folks just stayed home. Right now, I'm seeing in Georgia had a large amount of black folks that stayed home. As black as Georgia is. That's not misinformation. Because Cop City being promoted down there in Atlanta, that's not misinformation. That's not disinformation. And that's not under Trump. So all of these things that you keep talking about, here's the one thing they like to say, well, Trump had 4 years, but you Democrats have been in them seats forever. So what I want y'all to understand, when you see some of these plans, like the pandemic, Hey, well, Donald Trump was president when that was going on. Yes, and true indeed. But all of AIPAC's plants and individuals and all of that dark money, they were still sitting there in the wings. All of your Anthony Fauci's and all of this, they didn't go nowhere. So yeah, he had 4 years and they sat in Washington and waited to get right back on the plan to do what they did. And then on top of that, make sure you get everybody in this country filled up with this thing, and then let's let 20 million illegals come in without it. And somehow the people who were speaking up about that was also labeled disinformation. We remember these things. And so when you come to us now talking about, man, the people on X and there's so much unchecked information, who are you to say our information is invalid? If our information is invalid, prove it, Jen Psaki. See, here's my problem, and this is one thing that's a little subtle thing in supremacy. She thinks just because she opens her mouth on camera and shows you her alabaster complexion, that for some reason, everything she says is true. And so whoever she says is not telling the truth must be lying. Well, Jen, I think that's another aspect that you might have to relook at. You might want to re-examine that position as well. But with that being said, I just want to go into another little clip here. And she was talking to Katie Couric. And, also, again, just advocating for the censorship of the people. If you don't understand what that is asking, and you want censorship from the people, because what is X? It's a platform that anybody can use. So what she wants to be done is for the American First Amendment right to be tampered with. Last I checked, that's wanting to destroy the Constitution. The two things that are at the beginning of it, which is free speech and right to bear arms. Third is the other thing that Kamala Harris also was against: freedom of religion. And then y'all can't understand why nobody wanted Kamala Harris, because her plans literally are against the Constitution. And no matter which way you spin it, it's not gonna be spun for somebody who had the worst vice president rating beginning in 2024. And you thought she was finna walk out the door in November being the president-elect. And you are blaming social media for your inaccuracies? Why don't you take it up with yourselves and the big lies that you have pushed on the American public? And here's another thing: 40 something thousand, whatever, they raised 40 million, right? I guess with that FEC thing, we could find out if that's actually legitimately true as well. So let's not just look at who got the money. I want to know if the Win with Black Women really brought in what they said it did, and if they brought it in organically. Can we check on that? I would love to see that. But like I said, let's hear Katie Couric. Boy, man, when they away from that, whatever these celebrities take on these talk shows, and they just go to the normal civilian life, I didn't even recognize who the hell this was when I first saw this, but here we go.
And I also felt that,
Lord.
And again, I think she really did well in so many areas. And but I was frustrated by her inability to really succinctly answer questions at times, Jen, and to kind of, like, if she was asked about changing the Supreme Court at that CNN town hall. She had an opportunity to talk about ethics and what, Alito and Clarence Thomas were doing. And she answered like in one sentence and then like went on to something that had nothing to do with the question. People notice that. And it's like, answer the goddamn question, please.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's Katie Couric. So when Katie Couric's telling you that, I guess you probably say, oh, that's not misinformation. These people want censorship and they are looking to silence the voices of the truth. And let's also remember, see, one of the reasons that the Democrats are going to be really mad at the voices of new black media is because of their agenda to fill and flood the zone with illegals. And now they understand you absolutely will not have any black grassroots energy talking about let's stop the illegals from getting deported. Actually, it is the complete, utter opposite. And the grassroots, foundational black Americans, the descendants of chattel slavery here in America, thus us freedmen who are undeportable, we all say, hashtag, fire up the jet.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day, like it's a freaking holiday.
And you might think that we got it wrong and say, well, you guys, you have this information. You guys don't have fact checking. And we are not on a paid platform that has all these sponsors and all of this other money and these donors with these special interests. We don't have anybody giving that to us. We're disseminating information raw in real time. And so if you can't understand the difference between raw and real time and a Psaki and all of these paid folks, there was $1 billion and they put it all into the people to whom already were rich. And the working people of Kamala Harris's campaign are still waiting to get paid. And you might think that makes sense and we're wrong. Well, I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official, the Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new black media. I know I am safe to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
And ladies and gentlemen, most definitely stay away from that narcotic. And, it just reminds me of election night. So my wife says, like, oh, she was probably cussing and screaming and throwing bottles and glasses across the room and turning over chairs and tables because she was so upset that she couldn't believe this is true. How did I not win? And if you listen, and we'll be doing that on another broadcast, hearing from some of the campaign insiders who have left. Yeah. Again, this woman has been known not to be pleasant to be around. So America, you're dodging a bullet. I know you think that, oh man, Trump is this and Trump is that. Trump got 4 years. Y'all was trying to put yourself on the downward spiral for 8, which actually in turn would turn into 12 in reality because she's already been there for 4. Hell no. This is a disaster and somebody has to be honest about it. And if you listen to people like this, you will only get paid for news, paid for messages, paid for by whom you say? Good question. All kind of special interest groups. One thing I do know, matter of fact, I have that in here. Let me play this. Yeah, I need to play this last little video for y'all real quick. And this is going to be something that y'all probably will see again. But I just got to put it in perspective because I don't think people hear stuff like this. Well, they most definitely don't hear it enough. But if you want to know, like I'm telling you, the Congressional Black Caucus, y'all need to be on. Y'all don't know this, man. And let's tell y'all why we're not dealing with these people. So as they're worried, another reason that they're worried about new black media is because you saw we can affect an election. We can promote an agenda. And if you don't come with tangibles, we actually activated 15 million people to vote for the couch. Come on now. Come on now. So let me tell you something. Let me play this little clip for you before we get up out of here, because I need y'all to understand who these people are that say they represent you. This is who they actually represent.
So I think you know that AIPAC is both a grassroots organization and also a leadership empowerment organization. So a particular concern to us are not African Americans, but those African Americans that will be part of the Congressional Black Caucus, those African Americans that will be governors, those African Americans that will be part of the cabinet of successive administrations. And we have been rather successful in identifying young, emerging political leaders, sometimes when they're in their teens, sometimes when they're on college campuses, sometimes when they're just getting into state politics, and sometimes when they first emerge as congressional candidates. AIPAC built a relationship with Barack Obama before he was a president, before he was a presidential candidate, before he was a U.S. Senator. We built a relationship with him before he was in the Illinois State House. The relationship we built with Sarah Palin was before she was mayor. The groups that we are most excited about bringing to Israel for the first time would be the national, state, and local leaders of the College Republican National Committee and the College Democrats of America. And the fact that we bring them to Israel together, lock them in a bus, don't let them come down from the top of Masada until they understand the importance of working together, may be one of our only hedges against the breakdown of bipartisanship that we're witnessing today.
I hope you guys understand what you're hearing. I hope you guys understand what you're hearing. These people, they telling you the caucus is they got them. They ain't worried, and they told you straight off the rip, we are identifying black folks not for African Americans' sake. We are looking for them to get in power to do our bidding. So next time you guys wonder why these people don't say nothing about black folks and they don't advocate for black folks, they advocate for everybody else, this is why. Are you willing to be honest enough to see that these 70 plus members of the Do Nothing Congressional Black Caucus are literally there to make sure they stop black empowerment? I hope so. That's why I wanted to play that. So again, thank y'all for tuning in to this news break. I appreciate it. just wanted to go ahead and touch on this real quick because this red witch, and you're going to hear more and more of these nuts over here talking about, we need to get these people on X and YouTube, all this other information. Oh, you mean the new form of media that these people trust because they clearly can't trust you. And Psaki, you and Shea Pierre, you are two liars of a pod. So I don't even understand what you're talking about disinformation and misinformation. You two are some of the biggest liars that we have had on camera in the last 8 years. So it is amazing coming from you, man, but whatever. Yeah, let's just be clear. You know, these are the people to whom also pushed mandatory stuff. You know, never forget that. Never forget that. That these are the people, my choice, my body, because that was the whole spiel today or this year. Well, I'm sorry, this quarter, because the Kamala Harris's campaign was only in a quarter. My choice, my body. Remember that.
What happened to my body, my choice when it comes to vaccinations in the Biden administration? And in 2020, President-elect Biden said he would not demand vaccine mandates.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely zero honesty from them, and they are as much dictators as they can ever call Donald Trump. And there, you just seen the evidence. So let's never forget who these people really are. And now they're trying to flood the zone, and we need that cleared because we still have our issue here of reparations. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. Everything else will be in the description. And so keep your notification bells on. And until the next time, family, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.